Greetings, Earthlings! Mr. Paris here. Welcome to How to Communicate Like a Human. Lesson 1. What's the point? Nobody listens anyway. Whether you're enrolled in a speech class, a debate class, a speech and debate class, an oral interpretation class, an acting class, an art class, a geometry class, a jiu-jitsu class, a lion taming class, it ultimately all comes down to the same subject: communication. The truth is, life is really just one big communications class.
What?
So it's lucky you're watching this video. Wait a second, you may be wondering, what the heck is he talking about? Let me explain. If you're a human being, and most of you are, then you have a brain, and that's a good thing. Creatures without brains are very boring.
Oh no!
And lucky you don't have just any brain, you have a human brain, in most cases. And the human brain is, without question, the very best type of brain to have. Why is that, you ask? Because it's the only brain in the history of the world that invented donuts, which are delicious. Not to mention the ability to breathe underwater or in space, or to get to space in the first place, or to design clothes, or ceiling fans, sporks. There aren't very many marsupials with sporks.
Yeah!
All of these wonderful inventions exist because of the human brain. Oh yeah, and the most important invention of the human brain, communication. But what is the human brain exactly? Let's dive in. If we were to remove the top of your skull and peer down into the wonders of your human brain, we'd probably puke, but let's assume we keep it together. What are we looking at? We're looking at the most advanced supercomputer that has ever existed. Look at it. No, look! That thing is beating your heart, pumping your lungs, monitoring your body temperature and adjusting accordingly. It's growing your hair, digesting your food, looking for, love in all the wrong places. It's keeping you awake when you should be awake, now, and making you sleep when you should be asleep, later. It's looking for threats and deciding if you should fight, fly, or freeze, and for how long. In other words, that spongy collection of fat and neurons, it's keeping you alive. And that's great. But that's not what makes the human brain special.
What?
Because that's what all brains do, all across the animal kingdom. All of these actions are identical to the actions of a sloth brain, or a poodle brain, or a naked mole rat brain. And naked mole rat brains are not very special. But look at what else your human brain is doing. It's watching and understanding this video, probably. It's looking at the time, wondering how much longer this will last, wondering how much of this information will be on the test, wondering what's for lunch, thinking about play practice later, or football practice, or cheer practice, or work. It's planning its weekend, scrolling social media feeds. Stop it right now. It's thinking about all the things it's grateful for, like polished rocks, redwood trees, and Nana. And it's doing it all at the speed of thought, which is way faster than the speed of light. It's even faster than warp speed, which is super fast. In other words, the human brain is pretty much the coolest thing that has ever existed in the history of, history. But wait, I hear you thinking, which proves my point. Why does any of this matter? I'm glad you asked. The answer is simple. Your brain can't see, it can't hear, it can't by itself interact with the outside world. Fortunately, your brain comes wrapped in a body,
Whoa.
And it uses that body to take in information about its environment. Let's say you're outside on a really hot day. How does your brain know that? Because it receives signals from your eyes that it's very bright and sunny out. So your brain shrinks the size of your pupils. Then it receives signals from your skin that says it's very hot outside and humid. Why does it have to be hot and humid? Ugh. So your brain activates your sweat glands, and you start leaking water, which evaporates, thereby cooling you. And then you turn to whomever you're with and you say, wow, it's really hot out. And right there, did you see it? That's what makes your human brain so human. Your brain realized it was hot, made its adjustments to keep you alive, just like any warm-blooded brain, and then it communicated to the brain closest to it. How cool is that? I know, it's very cool. But why, you're asking, why did I just turn to the person I'm with and make the completely obvious statement that it's hot outside? Well, I don't know for sure, but I suspect it has a little something to do with the meaning of life. That's right. Studying communication is all about exploring the meaning of life. It's a very advanced course. Here's my hypothesis. The whole point of having a human brain is to look for and create meaning for ourselves. It's hot is, at its core, an existential statement that expresses the state of being in which you find yourself. And you need to say it, don't you? You can't not say it, or at least think it. And because it serves no obvious purpose, now stick with me here because I'm getting deep. Because it serves no obvious purpose to say to your friend that it's hot, when your friend, assuming they have a human brain and body, already know it's hot, and because you do it anyway, means there must be some less than obvious reason to make the observation. A reason we can investigate. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it, would you? Look, humans, like every other life form, aren't so much into expending energy for no reason. We just don't do it. If we do something, it's because something else makes us do it. So here's my question for you. What makes us turn to the person next to us and say it's hot, or it's cold, or something smells weird? Let's review. In this lesson, we've talked about two aspects of the human brain. One, it keeps us alive just like every other brain in the animal kingdom. And two, it does the uniquely human activities of thinking, pondering, asserting, formulating, imagining, manipulating, planning. You get the picture. It does a lot of stuff. Next, I asserted a hypothesis that the real purpose of the human brain, as opposed to, say, a hyena brain, is to look for and create meaning from our experience. And finally, I've given you an assignment. I bet you missed it. It came in the form of a question, which you should now use your human brain to answer. What makes us turn to the person next to us and say, it's hot, or it's cold, or something smells weird? Why do we need to express these things? Go ahead and jot down some ideas. Then, at your earliest convenience, find some friends to discuss your ideas with. Let them share their ideas as well. It's only fair. Then, as a group, formulate your own hypothesis in a hypothetical statement, beginning with the words, humans must discover or create meaning from their experience. Then express that meaning because... ... And that's the Lesson 1 video, kids. Gosh, I'm glad that's over. Go slay that dragon.